Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to address an ignoble creature whose very existence serves as an unwitting parody of human ineptitude. Bababouy, or tartar toothy, flunky, flunky, a man of many titles, each one a testament to his endless failures, his manifold humiliations, his absurd persistence in the face of his own blundering. This is not an individual who simply fails, no. Gary Delabate is a monument to human inadequacy, a kind of living embodiment of relentless, almost poetic incompetence. Bababouy, the most familiar of his unfortunate aliases, was born of Gary's tragicomic attempt to reference bababouy, a cartoon character whose name he so magnificently mangled that the error itself became legend. And here is where it all begins, with a simple slip of the tongue that encapsulates the essence of the man. It wasn't just a mistake, no. Mistakes can be brushed aside, they can be corrected. This was the kind of error that lodges itself in the cultural zeitgeist precisely because it was such a perfect distillation of his ineptitude. In trying to say something easy, something straightforward, Gary managed instead to trip over his own lack of wit, leaving us with bababouy, a name that has since become synonymous with failure on an epic Homeric scale. But this is only the beginning of the tale. Bababouy is a name that tells of incompetence, yes, but it only scratches the surface. Enter tartar toothy, another magnificent chapter in Gary's continuing saga of inadequacy. Tartar toothy, born of his ill-fated attempt at creating a dental mold, an endeavor so clumsy and hopeless that it defies belief. Here was Gary, the executive producer of The Howard Stern Show, grappling with the concept of dental hygiene like a medieval peasant confronting a sorcerer's incantations. He attempted to mold his own teeth, to create something that perhaps he thought would be a symbol of his own betterment, but instead he gave birth to yet another moment of grotesque hilarity. Tartar Toothy is not merely a nickname. It is an epitaph for an attempt at self-improvement so tragically bungled that it reveals the true depths of his obliviousness. He waved goodbye to even the most basic aspects of self-care, like a child failing to color within the lines of their own crude drawings. But we move forward inexorably to flunky, an epithet that in its simplicity manages to capture the staggering breadth of Gary's ineptitude. A flunky, that is someone whose sole purpose is to serve, and yet even in servitude, even in the most basic of responsibilities, Gary finds a way to flounder. His career as the supposed executive producer has been nothing short of a farce. Botched bookings, miscommunications, the endless parade of mangled tasks that would be laughable were they not so drearily predictable. Flunky speaks to his inability to do anything competently, to his failure to fulfill even the lowest expectations. And then there's flunky, a stammering repetition, echoing with the redundancy of his errors, each stuttered far, an almost musical refrain, the dirge of a man forever caught in his own cycle of inadequacy. He cannot help himself, and perhaps that is what is most pitiable about him. He is doomed to repeat these failures, as if they are etched into his very DNA. Gary Delabate is a man who has been gifted, if gifted is even the word, with an astonishing ability to take every opportunity for success, no matter how small, and transform it into an unmitigated disaster. He is like a reverse alchemist, turning gold into base metal, ruining everything he touches with an almost admirable consistency. His lack of self-awareness is so profound that it approaches the sublime. Time and time again he has been given chances to redeem himself, to do something, anything without incident, and yet he has managed to bungle it all. The Howard Stern Show, a well-oiled machine of chaos and brilliance, is often brought to the brink of derailment thanks to his myriad missteps. He is the sand in the gears, the rust on the blade, the pebble in the shoe. And let us dwell for a moment on the myriad of other nicknames, each a badge of shame, each a reminder of yet another spectacular blunder. Consider bababouy high pitch, which brings to mind the high-pitched whining that accompanies his inevitable failures, a sort of auditory manifestation of his defeat. Or Booey bonanza, a term that almost celebrates the sheer number of blunders, as though one were attending a carnival of failure, with Gary as the ringleader, inviting us to witness yet another act of astonishing incompetence. Even his attempts at redemption, the sad, stuttering efforts to finally get something right, become new avenues for ridicule. Bababouy has become the clarion call of the clueless, a cry that echoes across airwaves and ballparks alike, a reminder that somewhere out there someone is still failing, and failing spectacularly. Gary Delabate, with his simian grin and his unwavering belief that he is somehow deserving of his role, persists in this theatre of the absurd, a tragic figure who doesn't realize he's the butt of the joke. It is difficult to overstate the sheer scope of his inadequacy. It is as if every opportunity he has been given, every platform from which he might ascend to the heights of mere competence, he has instead used as a springboard into deeper embarrassment. He is Sisyphus, but instead of rolling a boulder up a hill, he is tasked with organizing a simple show segment, and he still finds a way to fumble it. The boulder rolls back, crushing him, and all he can say is bababouy as it happens, unaware of how ridiculous he looks beneath the weight of his own incompetence. One might even feel a twinge of sympathy for Gary, but only for a fleeting moment, because he is so supremely unaware of the joke that we quickly remember he deserves every ounce of mockery he receives. His laughter, his grin, his attempts to shrug off the endless barrage of insults are not the hallmarks of a man rising above it all. They are the expressions of a man too oblivious to understand his own position in the world. He is the court jester who believes he is the king, unaware that the crown he wears is made of tin, and the laughter he hears is not with him, but at him. In the end, perhaps it is fitting that we leave Gary Delabate with one final nickname, a conclusion to this entire farce, a distillation of all that he is and all that he has ever been. Monkey. For what is Gary if not a primate, forever reaching for a prize just out of his grasp, forever trying and failing to become something more than he is, forever unaware that the very act of trying is what makes him so laughable? Monkey, the perfect coda to a life spent floundering, a nickname that encapsulates everything about his futile efforts and his simian cluelessness. Monkey.